ಆಡಿಯೋ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಿಟಕಿ ಕೇಬಲ್ ಏನೋ ಕಿಟಕಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರ
Check, check, check. Good morning. I think it's good. Come on. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of the National Conference on Human Wildlife Conflict, Coexistence, and Biodiversity Conservation. I hope you all had a pleasant evening and are refreshed for another engaging day of discussions, learning, and knowledge sharing. And of course, I hope everyone has had enough coffee, tea, and your breakfast to stay energized for today's session. Yesterday's session were truly insightful and gave us valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities in wildlife conservation, and we are confident that today's deliberations will further strengthen our understanding and inspire meaningful solutions. So with a great pleasure and renewed spirit, let us begin day 2 of the conference proceedings.
So, as we begin today's proceedings, we now move to the technical session 3 under the theme Human-Wildlife Conflict and Coexistence. As we all know, human-wildlife conflict have become one of the most important conservation challenges of our time. Human-wildlife interaction, so it demands the balanced approach that ensure both ecological sustainability and human well-being also. This session will bring together valuable research perspectives, field experiences, and innovative approaches towards understanding the conflict patterns and promoting the coexistence. So with this, we officially begin the technical session 3. We are delighted to welcome esteemed dignitaries who will lead the proceedings of this session. So we have respected chairperson Professor Yogendra K. He is distinguished academician and researcher. Yes, sir. We welcome you, sir. Sir, kindly, it is requested to occupy the dais. And we have our co-chair. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have our co-chairperson, Dr. Shweta. Ma'am, kindly occupy the dais. So we welcome you to the session, sir. Welcome, ma'am. So I would like to introduce our respected co-chairperson, Professor Yogendra K, to the chairperson to the session. So Dr. Yogendra K is distinguished academician and researcher with over 2 decades of experience in teaching, research, and academic administration. His research interests include nanotechnology, environmental science, photocatalysis, and wastewater treatment. He has received research funding from agencies such as UGC and BGST, CISE, and has synthesized several novel nanoparticles for environmental applications. He has published over 100 research papers in reputed national and international journals and participated in more than 70 conferences and seminars. Dr. Yogendra has successfully guided 11 PhD scholars, 1 MPhil candidate, and 1 postdoctoral fellow, and is currently guiding several research scholars. He had delivered keynote and invited lectures at national and international academic forums and has participated in research activities abroad. He has also held important administrative positions at Kuvempu University, including deputy registrars for examinations, and he has contributed significantly to academic governance and university development. Welcome you, sir. And we have our co-chairperson for this session, Dr. Shweta A. She is an assistant professor of applied zoology at Kuvempu University, and she holds a PhD in aquatic toxicology from Kuvempu University. Her research expertise encompasses toxicology, biodiversity, and ecology. Dr. Shweta completed one startup project as a principal investigator funded by Kuvempu University. She has guided 4 PhD scholars. Academically, she has held key positions including chairman, board of examination, and delivered special lectures in many colleges and conferences. Dr. Shweta is a life member of ESDA, Environment and Social Development Association, India, Entomological Society of India, ESI, and editorial board member of International Research Journal of Modernization in Engineering, Technology and Science, IRJ-METS, and actively served as a reviewer for leading scientific journals. Welcome you, ma'am.
We extend a warm welcome to our respected chairperson and co-chairperson and request them to kindly lead the proceedings of the session and introduce the plenary speaker.
Good morning to all. Now I request Professor Madhegoda and Dr. Okay. Now I request first speaker Dr. C. Madhegoda on the dais. I welcome you, sir. Please. Once again, good morning to all respected dignitaries, faculty members, researchers, students, and participants. Today is the second day of this seminar on human-wildlife conflict, coexistence, and biodiversity conservation. It is the burning issue of our society. So it's the right time to address the issue. So this seminar very thoughtfully and significantly relevant to environment and biodiversity. So I congratulate Professor Vijay Kumar for the organizing this kind of seminar in association with the Forest Department and also Bhadra Tiger Reserve. Now I request Dr. Shweta, co-chair of the session, to introduce Dr. C. Madhegoda.
Good morning all. It's my pleasure to welcome for the today's session. We are honored to have with us Dr. C. Madhegoda sir, who is delivering a presentation on the indigenous knowledge of the Soliga tribe on wildlife conflict and coexistence in BRT Tiger Reserves, Chamrajnagar, Karnataka. Dr. Madhegoda C. is a social scientist from BR Hills, Karnataka, India. He did his BSW, MSW at School of Social Work, Roshni Nilaya, University of Mangalore, MSc at Sikkim Manipal University of Health, Medical and Technological Sciences, Sikkim, PG DPM at Bhavan's College of Communication and Management, Mangalore. PhD at Department of Studies in Social Work, University of Mysore, Karnataka. He is working at a field station of Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and Environment in BR Hills as a post-doctoral fellow and project manager, and he is also secretary of the community-based organization Jilla Budakattu Girijan Abhiruddhi Sangha, Chamrajnagar. He has 25 years of experience working with indigenous tribal people and biodiversity conservation in Karnataka. His work includes participatory resource monitoring, sustainable harvesting of non-timber forest produce, mapping of culturally sacred sites, community-based conservation, Forest Rights Act 2006, and empowering indigenous communities movements. He also works in non-timber forest products value addition and marketing of Adavi products. His research areas include tribal development, traditional knowledge, policy, political ecology, education, socio-economic, health culture, biodiversity conservation, and indigenous language. He presented many papers in national and international seminars, conferences, workshops, and also he published 24 research papers in national and international journals and books. He has given many guest lectures. He felicitation by many civil society organization, member of district level forest rights committee, member Karnataka State Wildlife Advisory Board, Government of Karnataka 2020, member Karnataka Adivasi Adiruddhi Mandali, Government of Karnataka, Bangalore from 2007 to 2009. I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Hello. 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 Yeah. Good morning to all. Thank you for inviting the national seminar. I would like to thank Vijay Kumar sir for giving the opportunity to share my experience. I am working from the last 25 years in BRT Tiger Reserves in part of Karnataka. Basically today I am sharing some of the work carried out from the last 25 years on the tribal development, conservation and traditional knowledge. I think today I am presenting the case study on indigenous knowledge and Soliga tribes on wildlife conflict and coexistence in BRT Tiger Reserve. I think many indigenous knowledge or many research are conducted based on the indigenous knowledge, and many researchers went to the tribal area, Adivasi areas, and do a lot of research on the community. Next slide. So today I think in India we have many Adivasi community. We call different names, Adivasis or indigenous communities or tribal communities or Mula Nivasis. But now recently we focus on more thinking on the Adivasi community. I think now in India we have many Adivasi communities spread all over the forest area, and also in Karnataka we have 50 tribal communities spread in all over Western Ghat area. But out of that we have 12 forest-based tribal communities: Soliguru, Jain Kurba, Betta Kurba, Kad Kurba, Malekudia, Kudia, all the community. All the people are living in the Western Ghat forest area. So today I am presenting the case study. In Chamaraj district we have four protected areas. One is Bandipura Tiger Reserve, and the second is the BRT Tiger Reserve, then Malay Marsha Wildlife Sanctuary and Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. So the case study of the BRT Tiger Reserve, you can see the BRT forest area. This forest area over about 574 square kilometer area, and we have a lot of policy change has taken place over the years. And before 1972, this area was as a reserve forest area, and in 1972, and the Wildlife Protection Act came, and then they declared into wildlife sanctuary in 1974. And that time Adivasi communities of Soligas were displaced from the forest area to the periphery of the area, and some villages were inside the forest area. And also again the people were displaced, and again the National Tiger Conservation Authority and government of Karnataka, even the government of India, 2011 they declared tiger reserve, and now we have tiger status. And in the BRT we have rich flora and fauna. So around 12,000 communities are living in the landscape, and we have 61 settlement. You can see the dots are there, that is the villages are spread. And so not only today I am focusing on the Soliga and wildlife. So we have to look into the holistic way. So basically people worshipping tree. We called Nerele Mara as a Sahyadri community. They worship by the tree, the community. This is called sacred tree for the community. And all the festivals, rituals people do, pujas and everything. And also we have Michaelia Champaka tree, we call Dodasampige Mara, 1,000 years worshipped by the community. And also not only the people worshipping Michaelia Champaka and Sahyadri community, and also a lot of Terminal Bellerica, Mustaka, wild mango. So all the trees are worshipped by the community. It's look, the community is nature worshipper. And also a very interesting story. I think many people we see that the people of the Adivasi communities or indigenous community living in the forest area, they don't have knowledge. So we are the civil society, we know everything, but we have depth knowledge. We know each and every corner of the forest area. We know the ecology, we know the behavior of the wildlife. Today, I think we also started thinking in the tree, how the people are conserving the forest area. Because of this forest is going very, you can see the forest is rich flora and fauna. And we need to understand how the people are conserving the forest area, what is their conservation knowledge. So we came to know that people are worshipping the sacred sites. So Devara Kadu, like that we have in BRT, Pavitra Sthalagulu, we Kannada we say. So people are worshipping 6 important sacred sites. The first one is Michaelia Champaka tree, the god, Jade Swami, Dodasampige, like that we have the god, male god. And also people are worshipping the Maramas, the goddesses. So that is also in the stone formation. And also people are worshipping Virus. You can see the right side, the stone. They are the heroes of the forest. They are protecting the forest of the forest area. And also we have another people are worshipping ancestor temple. We call Kallugudis. The people are worshipping there after death ceremony. They keep the stone and they became the god. They soul go to there. And the people also worshipping the sacred water. Abbi we call. That is one of the sacred water worshipped by the community. And we have burial grounds. So that is also sacred for the community. Okay. And we took almost 3 years to do the mapping. This is called counter map. You can say this is about the BRT. I think earlier map you see the map done by the government, and currently now we produce the map. This is a sacred map. This is you can say the counter map. We don't have a map about Adivasi community. We don't have our own maps. So we produce the map. We put all the sacred sites and the goddesses, all this. And also we call different colors, and we have LAs called. There is a cultural boundary. So there are 489 sacred worshipped by the community. There is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, there is a sacred site. That is the richness of the people having. And also people are having 48 LAs, cultural boundaries. These are based on the clan wise. We call Gotra, Kula. So these are based on that, and we produce the map. Why we need to produce the map? Because many people are younger generation are going for formal education, children, and they are forgetting traditional knowledge, and we need to document the culture. And this map also we use for the getting the rights under the Forest Right Act. And also we when we doing the mapping, we need to understand the tribal culture. So we need to how the people are identifying forest area. So this is the map we produce, overall map. We went to all the forest area, we took photography, and we took GPS reading, and finally we produced. These are the number of, you can see the right side, that are the spots. You can see there is the name of the forest area. So more than 2,000 big forest area we named, and then we put it in the topo sheet, and finally we produce the map. So it shows that Adivasis community have the depth knowledge about the forest. And also I think in BRT we have 6 types of forest: scrub jungle, deciduous forest, semi-deciduous forest, evergreen forest, sola, grassland. So these 6 types of forest we have. And if you take the Adivasi community, if you want to study the community, so we understand with the community, we had a interaction. Finally people are identified into 22 types of forest. See, if, for example, the people call the Allakado, riverine forest. If we go to the study the riverine forest, you will find different vegetation. And if you take Arecado, so rock area, so you will find different vegetation compared to the vegetation in the deciduous or scrub jungle. So this is the forest, you can see. And finally we produce the map. So this is the Adivasi map, right side. You can see how people can do their own map, because they have the own knowledge. That is the map produced by the A3. Also you can see the 6 types and 22 types of forest area. And also why today we are talking on the wildlife and conflict issues. I think in the indigenous perspective, we don't have a conflict. We have to live with the wildlife. We have to live with the wildlife. We have to understand each other. That is the lifestyle of the Adivasi community and the Soli community. In Soliga, I think many Adivasi community worship different animals and wildlife. And if you take the Soliga case, we worship elephant as a god, Devaru. This is worship by the community. And also worship the bison called Kati Devaru, the god. And the people worship bear god. So Kardi Devaru, that is also god, worshipped by the community. And also tiger, like a Hulipirappa. So everybody talking on the tiger is who tiger is. We are worshipping centuries. So this is a tiger god. And snake also worshipped by the community. And also we worship wild boar, the god. So these are the important sacred god for the community. Among Soligas, there are 6 clans or gotras. Each clans worship different god and goddesses. You can see the bison, that's a tiger god worshipped by the elder person of the community. It shows that people are worshipping the nature. So when we worship the wildlife or worship anything, we don't give trouble to anybody. So we have to live with the wildlife. And this is about how we worship with, how the relations with the wildlife. So we have to understand the relation with the wildlife. And also we worship non-timber forest product. When the people are harvesting the honey or lichen or tree moss, any product from the forest area, they have to worship because they are the god. Trees are the god. When we climb the tree, there is a healing touch. So we have very sentiment with the tree. So we have to worship the tree, then we have to harvest the product. And even people are harvesting the consumption product, tubers, leaves, green honey, all the product. So this also harvested by the community. When they harvest all the product, honey and everything, and people will throw some portion to the wildlife. We can't take everything because wildlife also, a lot of wildlife also depend on the honey. So during the, I think when we harvesting honey, we have songs about the wildlife, how to harvest honey. I can sing 2-3 lines. Annane kembare bareyali jenade, annane kembare bareyali jenade, annane nodi kuyala jenanna, annane nodi kuyalo jenanna, annane karadi baba bandavane, annane karadi baba bandavane, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ದೊಣ್ಣೆಗನಾಯಿ ಬಂದಾದೆ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ದೊಣ್ಣೆಗನಾಯಿ ಬಂದಾದೆ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ಕೊಕ್ಕೆ ದಾನ ಬಂದಾದೆ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ಕೊಕ್ಕೆ ದಾನ ಬಂದಾದೆ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ನೋಡಿ ಕುಯ್ಯಲು ಜೇನನ್ನ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ನೋಡಿ ಕುಯ್ಯಲು ಜೇನನ್ನ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ಮೂರು ಮೊಳದ ಮುಂಡುಸೂಟೆ, ಅಣ್ಣಾನೇ ಮೂರು ಮೊಳದ ಮುಂಡುಸೂಟೆ. This is about the song when we harvesting honey. So this is a Solinga song, Solinga dialect. Some Kannada also we had it. So when we harvesting honey, so lot of wildlife depend on that. Bear is coming, Karadi Baba, he is a brother-in-law for us. So we have to throw some portion, we have to take honey portion, we have to leave some brood portion because of they also depend on. And Donneganai Bandade. Donneganai means dog, tiger, we call dog family. So we call Donneganai. And Kokkedana is a elephant. So and lot of birds are depend on the honey, like a drango, all the birds are depend. We have to also, a lot of ants, insects also depend on the honey. We have to, for some portion has to throw the wildlife. We can't take everything to the community. That is the culture of the Adivasi community. And also there is a cultural relation. I mentioned that God worshipped by the community, and harvesting we have cultural related thing. And also we have celebrating the Roti Abbas, harvesting festival. After harvesting the finger millet called ragi, and offer to the making ragi ball to the goddesses, and roti for bread for the god. And during the festival we sing about the songs about the wildlife, birds, butterflies, and everything. So we have songs about the tiger, and also we have songs about the bison. I can sing 2-3 lines. You can understand how these songs we sing start with around 9 o'clock even night and end up with morning 6 o'clock. It shows that people are having a very cultural knowledge. Elder generation singing the song, dancing the Gorukana dance, and go to the younger generation. They will learn it. Goru Goru Ko Gorukana, Goru Goru Ko Gorukana, Dodda Sampage Nannodeya, Dodda Sampage Nannodeya, Katu Kapadi Madagunaya, Katu Kapadi Madagunaya. These songs we sing about the Goru Gorukana, the sound from the sound blowing through the forest area. Kanu means evergreen forest, and in the another meaning we call Gorukana means Soliga language, spider, Jeda. The sound are weighing like that. So we have songs about the bird, trees also. And also we have songs about the tiger. Ebbula baravo, Sami Kirubana Sungaravo, Ebbulu Hidu Kirubuli Madi, Ebbula baravo, Sami Kirubana Sungaravo. So we sing about songs about the tiger and leopard. So like that we have different songs on the wildlife, butterfly, birds, and all the things. And even the trees also we sing our songs like that. Birds also we have songs. Manna tege tege manna ki mama, aralu kaddella manna ki goodu, manna tege tege manna ki mama, matti kaddella manna ki goodu, manna tege tege manna ki mama. So like that where the birds are nesting the places, trees, we identify the trees. We are studying in the biology here, but we know the biology in our community. Our trees, botany, we study here botany, but we have botany knowledge in with our community. So when the singing the songs, younger children will learn the songs. So that is the culture we have in Soli community. And also we have to look into the conflict with communities, basically related to agriculture. The Solig also cultivating agriculture crops, finger millet, fox millet, maize, field bean, pumpkin, all the crops. And we have problem with the wildlife, like a elephant come and damage the crop, bison, sometimes we have wild boar. Wild boar population increased lot in the Buyati Tiger Reserve area, and also barking deer, samba deer, they come and eat our crops. When they traditionally we have rituals, people we have to do the rituals, traditional ritual, we do the puja. So the elephant should not come to our agricultural land. So we are following some rituals and do the pujas and offer to the elephant god and bison, tiger. They won't enter into the agricultural land. After doing the puja, after planting all the agriculture, when the harvest comes, the crops comes, we take the first crop of the finger millet or ragi and take that and make the ragi ball and roti and offer to the god. That is the procedure. So the people, animal won't enter to the our agricultural land. But this is traditionally done. Now because we are not much practicing some of the rituals and traditional systems, so slowly the elephants are coming now. But we are not asking any compensation from the forest department. So because this is the part of life. So we are I think if you take the BRT cases, many people don't go and ask the forest department, give the compensation. We don't ask it because we are living with the wildlife, because they are taking some portion of part of the crops. So we eat some portion of the crop. So that is why we don't feel that much conflict with the wildlife. We have to live with the wildlife. And also we know how to control the wildlife. The Adivasis or indigenous communities or Soligas, we know how to control the wildlife. Wildlife should not come to our area. For that we have rituals. You feel that is a belief of bad belief. You have belief like that, but we don't. Adivasi community don't bother about that. Outsider community, we do pujas. The wildlife should not come to our area. So during the festival time, and sometimes we have special puja for the wildlife, tiger, elephant, bison. We do our pujas, rituals. Then our elephant won't come to our area. So we don't get the problem. And also we have practiced we have a lot of livestock in our households, and when the livestock go to the forest area, very rarely leopard or tiger kill the livestock. For that we do pujas, the rituals. The tiger should not kill the wild livestock like a goat, sheep, all the things. So that is a very ritual stake we have in community. And also sometimes we have human beings killed by the elephant, tiger, all the animals. For that also we have rituals. So we do the pujas to the forest area and wildlife, and the wildlife won't attack. I think very rarely we have 1 or 2 case deaths, elephant attack and tiger attack. So very rarely 1-2 cases we find. And also we have knowledge of the forest. The indigenous community, as in Solig also, we have know the life skill education. So when we are living in the cities, we need to have a formal education. When you are living in the forest area, we have to have the life skill education. We know birds are giving the alarm call. Woodpecker, you know already. The woodpecker will give a lot of alarm call, good call, bad call. So we observe it and then we go to the forest area. If there is a bad call, we won't move that area because something is there, tiger or elephant, bison is there. We should not disturb that area. We have to take the other path. And sometimes langur give the alarm call, monkeys give the alarm call, squirrels give the alarm call. When there is a wild animal, the squirrel go up and down and give the sounds. So then we observe it. Oh, this is something will be there. We should not go there. So we have to understand it. We have to understand the landscape and then understand the space. So like that we understand the move to the forest area. And also we know the pug mark. Whenever we go to our Adivasi community to enter to the forest area, they know the pug mark of the tiger, elephant or bison. And they say this new or fresh or old. So through that only they move. There is a fresh, which people should not move that area. They will change the path. They will move the other forest area. And also we have smells. The Adivasi community in the forest area, they observe the smells. The tiger smell, elephant smell. So that is the coexistence we have. So there is a tiger smell coming from through the window, blowing through the wind. And we know that this is a tiger area, so we should not go there. This is an elephant area, we should not, there is an elephant in this side, we should not move there. We have to change our path because that is a place for them. And that way we do, Adivasi community do the life skill education and understanding the wildlife behavior. We know the behavior of the tiger, we know the behavior of the elephant, and we understand each other. That is the possible in the Adivasi community. And also sometimes human deaths will happen, rarely, it's inevitable. So 1 or 2 deaths because sometimes elephants stand on one side and people, sometimes the wind won't blow there, and sometimes we won't get the smell also. That time elephant attack is there. So that is the common in, I think in BRT from last 1 year there is a study. cases are 3 to 4 people were killed by the elephant, and one tiger death, one tiger attacked by the one person. So, and one person killed by the bear recently 1 year back. So that is inevitable, because we have to live with the wildlife, we have to understand with the wildlife. That is the culture of the community. And in the forest area, we have other issues. So yesterday also I mentioned that lot of climate changes have taken place. Lot of vegetation is changing over the years. From the last 50 years, we observed that lot of tree species have decreased because of lantana camara weed has increased in the forest area. They spread all the forest with the BRT tiger reserve. This is one of the research we conduct in Sahyadri, and you can see around 97 there is a 4%. Now 2008 is 33%. Now currently around 60% area covered with the lantana camara weed, and it's spreaded all the forest area, and the lot of grass species are decreasing in the forest area. So animals are moving to outside for the fodder, and as this is lantana. You can see the elephant. If there is a lot of lantana, they don't have any grass or they don't have any fodder to eat. So you can see the elephant also cannot move in the lantana area. And also we are working on the forest attack. In the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, there is no provision for the community involvement, community conservation. So only in the JFM, Joint Forest Management, that time they focus on the involve the local community, and that also for the non-timber forest product, not more on the involve the conservation activities. So now there is an opportunity for the indigenous communities in the forest, not only the indigenous community, other forest dwelling tribal community living in around the forest area. So they are also eligible. In BR Hills and the Chamara district, we are working on the rights, and currently we have 4 protected area. Out of that 3 protected area, people received the community forest rights, including conservation rights, fishing rights, grazing rights, NTP harvesting rights. So conservation rights is very important. So in the Bandipura Tiger Reserve, there is still a lot of challenges, because that is the first tiger in India declared tiger reserve. People were displaced 50 years, 40 years back. So now, so this is about the 77 Grama Sabhas received the community forest rights. Around 21,732 people are benefited from, because every Adivasi community don't have the rights over the land. Only 40% people having the land under the Forest Right Act. Around 250 households received the land rights, and even that land size also half acre, 1 acre, not like a 10 acre. In the Forest Right Act, there is a provision for up to 10 acre of land, but the position they had half acre, 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acre land. So now we are working on that. And currently under the conservation rights, after getting the conservation, monitoring, regeneration activities, community can involve in the conservation activities. And so we are preparing the conservation plan. In the conservation plan, looking at the conservation, what are threat to the forest area, like a lantana camara, forest fire, weed, and tourist, plastic, all the threats we identified, and for that also we have solution. And also livelihood, look into the livelihood of the community, and also the management of the forest. And also we conduct a lot of workshops for the community. We have almost 10 years we conducting a lot of workshops, preparing the conservation plan. We are currently planning to submit the plan. And also we had a workshop with the forest department, because we need the feedback from them. So we are doing the plan with them. And also when Jairam Ramesh was there in the ministry, and that time we approached when they declared tiger is in BRT. That time we approached him and don't declare the tigers, because around 12,000 Adivasis community living, and it is problem for the community. Then he told that tribal and tiger can live together, it is possible. He is given the statement. And here also you can see when they declared the tiger reserve 2011, the tiger number was 35 according to the forest department census. Now recently the 58 tiger number has increased, and 12,000 people are living in the same landscape, it shows that the coexistence is possible. It is already there. We can't say possible. It is coexistence. It is there in the villages. So we have to understand the local community, take their knowledge and everything, and we can conserve the forest area. So without community also problem. When if you take any big forest fire happen, you can't control the fire. Local community is very needed for the control the forest fire. Also we can't say that. This is about the coexistence possible in the BRT tiger reserve. Thank you.
Now the topic is open for discussion. If you have any questions, please, you can ask few questions. It's a wonderful presentation by Dr. Madegowda. So it's the field experience of 25 years he has shared. It's one of the wonderful things that we have to learn from him. Anything, any questions? Please.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So myself, Dr. Prakash K from Gulbarga University, Department of Environmental Science. Sir, your presentation is very near to the coexistence of the animal and human wisdom. Sir, my question is the last slide about this DRT. This one. In the 2010, you said that 25 numbers were there. In the 2014, it is increased to 50. In the coming days, if we increase the number of the wildlife like tigers and how much of how many of you are having the tolerance of the coexistence of the increase of the wild animals? How we can go for tolerate the things? How we can go for coexist with the increase of the number of the wilds? You can, because recently you know that the threat occurs by the wilds to the human beings. Of course, there is some problem is there, but the increase of the number of wilds in the particular area, it also some my it is also some the damages to the population of the human beings. The way they can they are also the humans also dependent on the foresters. What is your opinion?
Sir, the number is increasing, even the tiger number also increasing. Sir, there is the two corridors. One is connecting to the Malay Marsh Wildlife Sanctuary, another connect to the Satimangal Tiger Reserve. Both that when the population increase in the BRT Tiger Reserve, the animal move to that area, and when it go to the MM Hills area, that forest area connect to the Malay Marsh Wildlife Sanctuary, Malay Marsh Wildlife Sanctuary, and then Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. And then it can continue to the Bilikal Reserve Forest area up till come to the Bannerghatta National Park also, that stretch of the forest area. And automatically the wildlife number has increased. Automatically they'll move to agricultural land or other forest areas. I think the government will need to take some control.
That's why there will be conflict.
Yeah,
there will be conflict when the increase of the wilds in the forest. Also, there should be some limitations.
Yeah. But the department doing lot of good protection activities.
That is another part, sir. That
Other
is another part
yeah.
of the government.
Doing, yeah.
That is another part. What I am, how the people where they are living in the forest, how they are going to the coexist in that particular animals they are increasing.
So we have to think in further ways, sir.
That is very important.
As far as my reception, so they are happily living there.
Yes.
They don't have any problem.
Yes.
We are creating problem, and moreover, sorry, Madegowda sir, I'm interrupting you. I think species are also increasing. At the same time, we are losing our forest.
Yes,
our forests are losing their capacity to feed them. So that we have to look into that. There are so many factors involved in that. And our students also have presented one paper, how forests are losing their feeding capacity. I think you can observe that and comment on that. There's a new perspective that we are looking into. The climate change is affecting the photosynthesis activity in the plants that we are looking into, that we can discuss. So because of shortage of time, I will cut short Dr. Prakash Karyajan our question. Any other questions? Any questions from the students? Please. Please be seated.
Basically. Okay. And tiger number, what it was estimated for BRT, the number of traps it was set and everything was improper. That's what that day I was mentioning yesterday, that over the period methodology was refined and placement of the pen. Even actually during that period, the density was the same. But it was a methodological issue. It is not actually population increased. It's almost 35 to 45 animals, they have been there in that area. Okay, and the coexistence is one of the beautiful, and really I'm proud of this work. And actually I involved in when he mentioned Jairam Ramesh, of course I was involved in making this as a BRT tiger reserve, and we produced all the documents for that one. So it's right. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you. Now I request Professor Madegowda, please be seated. I request our Professor Vijay Kumar to felicitate Dr. C. Madegowda for his wonderful presentation and his wonderful contribution to society since from last 25 years. It's not an easy task. So sitting at the lab, doing experiment is different, and in the field, getting the information is different. So in a week or 1 month, we can get the result in the lab, but not in the field. So it's a wonderful effort by Madegowda sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for your wonderful presentation. Now, I request our second speaker, Dr. Chetan Nag, KS, Deputy Director at the Center for Wildlife Studies, Bangalore. His lecture titled, When Humans Change the Rules, Anthropogenic Landscape Restructure Social System and Blur Species Boundaries in South Indian Langurs. Now I request my colleague Dr. Shweta to introduce Dr. Chetan Nag.
Now we have Dr. Chetan Nag for a plenary talk. He is delivering on topic When Humans Change the Rules, Anthropogenic Landscapes Restructure, Social System and Blur Species Boundaries in South Indian Langurs. Chetan Nag is an Indian zoologist, primatologist and urban ecologist, currently serving as a Deputy Director of Center for Urban Ecology, Biodiversity, Evolution and Climate Change, and Associate Professor at Jain deemed to be University, with research expertise spanning primate ecology, evolutionary biology, urban biodiversity, conservation genetics, behavioral ecology, and climate change. He earned his PhD in zoology from Bharatiyar University through research conducted at Indian Institute of Science and Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History, focusing on the ecology, morphology, taxonomy of Hanuman langur in peninsular India. Over nearly 2 decades, he has combined academic research, teaching, mentorship, and conservation outreach, publishing extensively in peer-reviewed international journals on primates, urban ecology, amphibians, bats, and wildlife conservation. His work integrates molecular phylogenetics, behavioral studies, and ecological modeling to address conservation challenges in rapidly changing landscapes, particularly across the Western Ghat and urban ecosystem of southern India. He has received several recognitions, including Fellowship of Linnean Society of London, Karnataka Science Congress Young Scientist Award, multiple research grants from national and international agencies. Alongside his research contribution, he has actively organized workshops, delivered invited lectures, guided postgraduate and doctoral research, contributed to public science communication, and engaged with conservation policy, and biodiversity education, making significant contribution to both wildlife science and environmental awareness in India. I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Am I audible? Yeah. Morning. My session was supposed to be post-lunch session, and there I had a challenge because you'd have had stomach full. Your circadian rhythms would be negotiating with the conscious that how to be awake. Unlike the post-lunch session, I'm very fortunate. Dr. Vijay Kumar rescheduled my talk to this session, where the challenge is not to keep you awake, but the definite pressure is on me and my langurs. I have been a teacher for the past 2 decades, and as teachers we are conditioned to talk for 55 minutes, not after that. But I would like to reassure both Professor Vijay Kumar and the chairs that I would try to restrict my talk well within 30 minutes so that we can have some time for interaction. So that's the kind that I'll be trying to do. I have titled my talk as When Humans Change the Rules, Anthropogenic Landscapes, Restructure Social Systems and Blur Species Boundaries in South Indian Langurs. Usually human-animal interactions or conflicts are spoken in the context of either conflicts, habitat loss or adaptations. But I am trying to take a different path today, where I would like to explore that are human-mediated landscapes restructuring the primate social and evolutionary systems. In order to tell this, I have taken 3 lines of data sets, multiple lines of evidence, where I would like to show you the patterns, the reoccurring patterns, where human modified landscapes are trying to restructure the primate systems, where the primates are now trying to organize socially or systematically. They are interacting behaviorally, and somewhere there is some kind of blurring on the species boundaries. So together, these kind of approach, I am trying to ask questions that are human modified landscapes restructuring the primate societies. Whenever we speak of primate societies, so whenever we are speaking of primate societies, primates organize themselves in a very beautiful social organization. For example, they can be solitary, individual animals. It's a brief time period that they come and behave as solitary individuals. They can also go and form what is called as unimale society, where is one male, multi-females, where one male dominates, that's the alpha male. They can also form multi-male, multi-female societies, where there are larger groups containing multiple adult males with females with their offsprings, and it's also a stable thing. Sometimes they form what is called as an all-male group, where different males or form what is called as a bachelor troop. It's again a brief time period where all the males get together to make sure that they can go and dominate one more troop or form another troop or challenge the alpha males of the troops that is already existing. And again, that's again a brief period. But they can also form what is called as fission-fusion group, where larger communities temporarily divide into smaller subgroups and reunite based on the resource and social cues. So these are the kinds of social organization that the primates exhibit, and it's not random. This is very, it's a part of a long evolutionary process, and they are quite stable actually. But I'm trying to ask, what happens when humans reshape ecological landscapes? For example, we all know that humans have been altering with the physical habitats. They convert the forest into fragmented forests, agricultures, roads, towns. So this is physical alteration, but that's not what I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to ask a different question where what happens when ecological context itself changes? Can human mediated landscapes dictate whether they can alter the social organization of the animals? Can they blur the species boundaries? So this is at that level that I'm trying to ask. We all know that human modified landscapes are compressing habitats, they are redistributing resources, they are altering the dispersals, increasing the edge effects. All of these are happening at the physical scale. But that's not what I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to ask whether human modified landscapes can alter at the social level and the evolutionary level. So that's the question that I'm trying to ask. We all know how roads have been quite facilitating the movements of humans and goods, but it is also at the same time increasing human-primate encounters. Again, there have been a lot of cases of movement of primates from source to release, where it is influencing the gene flow, the social dynamics, and the disease risk. They're also increasingly coming towards the human settlements and creating new ecological interactions. All of these are happening. I'm interested in quite a different landscape. I'm again asking whether human modified landscapes, are they influencing the social structure? To ask this, I have taken models, langurs as a model system, because they are extremely flexible and they are social complex. I'm taking why langurs as models, because langurs are extremely flexible. They are distributed widely across the Indian subcontinent. They are found at many elevation levels, right from 0 meters to 4270 meters above mean sea level. They are occupying diverse habitat ranges, be it deserts, mangroves, rainforests, deciduous forests. You ask them, they're there. But most importantly, they are also showing a lot of troop organization variation. So this is what makes langurs a very good model system. So these are langurs. They are also called common langurs, Hanuman langurs. Just take a break. I did my PhD on Hanuman langurs 2 decades ago. When I started my langur work, we were stuck at a 100-year-old problem. The question at that time was whether Hanuman langurs constitute single species or multiple species. If so, how do we evaluate them? So I began my PhD then using multiple lines of evidence. We tried to resolve this question, and I resolved this question, where Hanuman langurs are now considered as multiple species across India. Okay, so there are 2 species in South India, 1 species in North India, and 1 species in the Himalayas. So together we have 4 species. This is one. These are the 2-3 species that are there in South India. That's the North Indian langur, and this is the Himalayan langur. If you ask me a question, how do we differentiate these things? There are differentiation mechanisms at different levels. One of the things that all of you can understand is morphologically. For example, any langur should either have conical shaped projections of hairs called, they should be having something called as a conical shaped projections called crest. So either they should be present or not. For example, if you see this langur, they have a conical shaped projections on their head. Any langurs either should have a brown streak between their eyes and ears. Okay, so remember, these langurs have something, a brown line between their eyes and ears. They could be present, they could be absent. Another important factor is extent of blackness on the hand. The blackness could be in the peripheries, or the knuckles, or the wrist, or the elbows. For example, if you see here, their extent of blackness is still here, whereas this chap has an extent of blackness only till here, whereas this chap has an extent of blackness till the elbow, whereas this chap again does not have anything. So these are some of the morphological characters. But the wonderful character that is delimiting the North Indian and South Indian is the way they put their tail loop. The tail loop either looped towards the head, the North Indian langurs, or away from the head in the in the shape of a S shape or a question mark shape or inverted U shapes. This truly distinguishes North Indian from the South Indian. So this is how we differentiate the North Indian and the South Indian langurs. Anyway, enough of my PhD work. I'll just come back to the question. Most of us are stuck whenever we speak of human-wildlife conflict issues. We are stuck at either asking questions at the habitat level, or the conflict level, or the population decline level. Again and again, I'm reiterating the point that I'm not asking that question. I'm trying to ask that whether human-mediated landscapes are influencing, social restructuring. Is there something happening at the evolutionary level? These are the questions that I'm trying to ask today, and that's how I would like to delve into my own past experiences for the past 20 years that I've been trying to do. I'm trying to bring in 3 multiple different data sets that I've been working in Peninsular India and the Western Ghats. Remember, these 3 different sets are independently giving us a beautiful biological pattern. But what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to converge these 3 and see whether they are giving some kind of signals or pattern where we can understand human conflict in a better way. So that's the 3 multiple lines of evidence that I shortly will bring and take you through this. So what is my question? I'm trying to search for a common ecological signals, and these are my questions. I'm trying to examine the demographic variations, contact zones, and mixed species association. Remember, I'm not asking or I'm not claiming that there is a direct causation that everything that's happening is because of humans. No. In fact, I want to investigate whether unusual social interspecific configurations are repeatedly occurring in landscapes characterized by anthropogenic disturbance. So time and again, I'm trying to be very cautious, and these are my hypotheses. I'm trying to ask where altered troop structures, mixed species association, or blood species boundaries are occurring, anthropogenic disturbance is consistently present as a part of the ecological context. In doing so, I'm not claiming that human disturbance always causes the patterns. No. Instead, I'm trying to sell the human modified landscapes might be creating conditions that are permissive to alternate and social and evolutionary dynamics. So at this level, I just wanted to make sure I have some data set. So I dig back into my PhD days, and there were 3 multiple windows of surveys that were done. One between 2007 to 2011, 15 to 20, and 21 to 24. All of these were conducted in Peninsular India or the southern India. And I have tried to encapsulate different types of habitat mosaics, be it agricultural, roads, estates, temples, forested areas. So all of this I have tried to encapsulate, and I have tried to make sure I have got some kind of observations done. Remember, all of these are done in the southern India and the Peninsular India only. So the first signal started to coming from when I started digging my data sets. The first started digging came from the troop dynamics or the troop demography. Okay, so remember, unimale is 1 male, 1 alpha male, multi females, whereas multi-male, multi-female is multi kind of a dynamics. So I was trying to ask, are multi-male troop configurations disproportionately associated with anthropogenic landscapes? Because if you go back to the review of the literature clearly says there are multiple multi-male troops that are there in the entire India. So I just wanted to see whether it's true or not. So what I did was I just went back to my data around 89 to 90 troop data that I had briefly collected during my PhD days. Remember, Hypoleucus, S. priam are the 2 different species that are there in the South India. S. entellus is the North Indian langur. Okay, North Indian langur has a tail loop towards their head. So I just went back to the demographic, the troop data, where I could see some of these patterns. Hypoleucus, I collected around 59 data sets, where unimale were 55, that's 93%, whereas we also can see multi-male societies there. S. priam was interesting. Out of 16, that is 9 were unimale, but 7 were almost multi-male, so 44% was multi-male. S. entellus is a North Indian langur. See, you can see the kind of multi-males. 106, that was the troop size that I could see, and again less data. But when I went back to my literature and started to see, are these true across the subcontinent, because S. priam, kind of South Indian langur, is also present in Sri Lanka. So when I went back to their literature, even they are saying the same thing. Whenever we see multi-male troopism, they are either present somewhere in the temple, near the temples, or somewhere near the dam or irrigation sites. So what I was trying to look for is the following. So S. priam, South Indian monkey or langur, showed unusually high multi-male occurrence. Remember, they were 44% in my survey. Such flexibility suggests that the troop organization may be more ecologically plastic in S. priam and they are traditionally assumed. S. priam is very interesting because I'll come back with my third data sets. But for now, the take-home message is that multi-male systems repeatedly appeared in fragmented, edge-dominated or human-influenced landscape. That's the take-home message that we need to keep in mind for now. So there is something called as an emerging shift in priam population, which all of us should be very serious and we should start investigating. So what could be the drivers of multimale? There could be any n number of drivers. One could be the habitat landscape change, which is influencing the resource distribution, and that's how the multimale percentage is happening. But whatever, there is a coincidence, or the observation suggests that wherever we are finding human dominated landscapes, we are trying to see such kind of multimale tropism. Having said that, I was trying to look at the tail looping patterns and all, and I was visiting several places, but I could see some kind of species boundaries being blurred, and the second signal started to emerge when I visited some of these Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra border areas. What was happening? But before that, let me come back to you. North Indian langurs put their tail towards their head, and all the South Indian put their head away from their head in the shape of S shape, and that's the photos. And there is a line between them. This is the Tapti and the Godavari river borders. According to Runewall, who was a very senior primatologist, he said that above this line would be the North Indian langurs, and above this, below this would be the South Indian langur. So far so good. I was very happy, and I said, okay, I have discovered some morphological trait where I can differentiate between North and South Indian langurs. It was not the case, because I started to sweat when I went to Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra border. Classical case is North Indian, South Indian tail langurs, but you see, when I went to some places in Guntur, I found in the same troop, some individual putting the North Indian tail loop, some individual putting the South Indian tail loop. And I was quite shocked to see, how can this happen? Not only that, the tail could not even make up. See this individual here, he was putting a tail loop, southern tail loop, and few minutes later, he started to put his tail loop in the northern tail. So this was quite contrasting. What the hell is going on there? I have no clue. Fortunately, I could see some observations, because I have seen many lorry drivers coming and translocating langurs from the North Indian part, the Nagpur part, and the Maharashtra part, and they are dumping some of these langurs into Srisailam landscape. So I just wanted to see whether are these the results of some kind of human mediated translocation. That indeed, because these are the locations that I have found: Kalburgi, Bidar, Nalgonda, Srisailam, Guntur. So all of these places, and most of these places either were a temple area or a roadside state highways kind of areas. So that's the area where all these kind of typical patterns are actually occurring. So having said that, these are the locations through map. This is the kind of area that we should be focusing on. That's where all this is happening. I could find around 30 troops, but out of 30 troops, 15 troops had these kind of weird patterns. And so these kind of weird patterns were quite happening in these only Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh border areas, and that's why I said not quite south or not quite north. Having said this, I just wanted to move about, and the third signal started to come. I thought my PhD is over, I have found out something, but no, they gave you more challenge. So I came to some of these areas, and I saw that the langurs probably have not read the species manual, because as per a standard species definition, when two species come together, they cannot mate. Even if they mate, the offspring would be infertile, they are not fertile. That's not the case happened. Just a briefing about this. Hanuman langurs are quite widely distributed, that I have shown you, whereas it has its sister species called Nilgiri langurs. They are quite restricted distribution, only in the southern part of the southern Western Ghats. Coorg happens to be the northernmost place where you can find the Nilgiri langurs, all the way till Kanyakumari, whereas Hanuman langurs are widely spread. They also are found in a wide range of habitats, whereas Nilgiri langurs are very, very, very restrictive. They are only found in wet evergreen forest. They are found elevations. The Hanuman langurs are found in elevations between 0 to 4270 meters, whereas Nilgiri langurs are always found above 800 meters. Only in Kalakkad, Mundanture and some areas we have seen them coming down at a lower elevation. And Hanuman loom, both of them have a unimale multimale troop. So what was interesting? So probably the langurs might have taken the sympatry very personally, because in some areas people have reported that Hanuman langurs and Nilgiri langurs are coming together. They are forming what is called a mixed species association. So much so, I had to go back to the literature and see where all it has been described. So far, it has been described in 4 places, 2, 3, 4, the Silent Valley, the Top Slip, and the Kalakan Munnanturai. So when I started to explore this, I have added 1 or 2 more places now. I have seen this in Ooty, Gudalur area, and we are seeing similar patterns. So what is the issue, or what is the pattern that is been emerging? They are not only coming together, eating together, foraging together, they are also mating together and producing fertile offspring, because they are not only sharing the food, they are also sharing the forest and apparently now genes. You can see that these are the hybrid langurs that we can find as a result of these kind of associations. Okay, you can see there are these Nilgiri langur individuals, but there is a Hanuman langur kind of individuals in the Nilgiri langur troop. Also, we have Hanuman langur, Nilgiri langurs in the Hanuman langur troop type. So all of these are happening. So much so that I have seen personally in 2 places where the hybrid hybrid langur or hybrid male is actually acting as an alpha male. So it is already leading a troop. Where are we? Where we are discussing the classical biological species concept where 2 species cannot come together and all. Here is a case where it is actually leading a troop. So these are the kinds of interesting patterns that I am trying to see from the langurs. So some people argued that, oh, no, this is a beyond chance encounters. It could be a chance encounter. It cannot be, because I have seen this reports right from 1900s. Britishers have seen this. BNHS journal has shown this. And this cannot be chance encounter, because we are seeing it repeatedly occurring. So they are sharing the ranges, they are sharing the foraging part. There is a minimal aggression that we have seen. There is a stable co-occurrence, and we can see all these intermediate forms. So this is how they are trying to give us some kind of pattern that we are interested in. So I just wanted to ask, could socio-ecological flexibility predispose certain populations to novel interaction? That's what we are happening. This is again the data from Nilgiri langurs and the Hanuman langur with the hybrids. So we are trying to see the passion, and more behavioral ecology is needed, and Kumara's student Mahato, Shantanu Mahato, is working on it. So we might be expecting more beautiful descriptions of these kind of behavioral ecology. So one striking pattern is, again, I am coming back to S. Priam. It's not only showing multi-male tropism, but it is also giving us that this is the only Priam population which is associating with Nilgiri langurs. Neither the Hypoleucus nor the Entellus have been seeing, associating with each other. It's only the S. Priam that's associating with the Nilgiri langur population. So we need to look carefully about these S. Priam populations, because it's giving some kind of striking patterns. So what are these hotspots? Again, I just wanted to see where is the third signal coming from. The hotspots of social and evolutionary mixing is coming from tea plantations, heavy trafficked area, Alia Dam kind of places, forested slopes, temple landscapes. Again, all of these are human mediated landscapes. This is where the striking patterns are coming, and it's a very recurring feature that I'm trying to see. So I'm not again claiming it's the cause, but I'm trying to see what kind of ecological associations are. So to summarize, all 3 data sets independently are pointing towards the same broader pattern. There is some kind of multi-male tropism, mixed species, a kind of response that is there, and we need to have a conceptual framework that we need to do. So going beyond the explanations of that humans are causing, human disturbance is causing habitat degradation, there are these explanations emerging. Human modified landscapes are indeed trying to restructure the social systems. They are trying to alter the demographic stability. They might be creating novel ecological interactions, and they are facilitating contact between previously unknown populations or the separated populations. So these are kind of the patterns that I'm trying to see. Again, I'm not claiming that these are the direct causations, but I'm trying to look at the repeated ecological associations, and we need to invest more time on these future research directions. So we are collecting all of these data. I am working on the genetic aspect now, hormonal stress. Kumara is actually working on the behavioral ecology aspects, troop dynamics. All of these they are trying to. But the take-home message is that we need to invest these things into the conservation ideas, where we need to look at more of behavioral plasticity, evolutionary dynamics, apart from asking all of these habitat loss, conflict kind of arguments. So we need to invest more time on these kind of things. Again, these are the kinds of very crucial areas that people have been seeing patterns of these 3 independent data sets, whether it is forts, temples, dams, highways. These are the places we should be more focusing on, because it is giving us some kind of one common signal that we need to look at the social structures and the evolutionary dynamics. So this is what I would like to ask and end and summarize, that I am not claiming that human disturbance is the only cause, everywhere it is causing it, but I am trying to tell you, I am trying to shift the lens in saying that human mediated landscapes are providing a very good platform for the social reorganization, social structural reorganization, and the evolutionary dynamics that are happening. So what should be the question that we should be asking? So to me, if you ask, the important question may no longer be that can primates survive in human landscapes? Of course they are surviving, but we should be asking what kinds of social and evolutionary systems are emerging because of them. I'm trying to say that we need to shift from asking questions. We need to ask, I'm not undermining it, habitat change, human primate interactions, behavioral social, but we also need to focus on the evolutionary responses, what kind of new forms of sociality are coming, and how co-evolution is happening in anthropogenic landscapes. So this may represent one of the central ecological questions of the Anthropocene. Having said that, I would like to thank, because remember, this work has emerged from the field observations across landscapes where wildlife and humans have been increasingly sharing the space. I just wanted to say that field work is always a collective effort. I would like to thank Professor Vijay Kumar for inviting me to this conference. I would like to thank my primary mentor, Dr. Praveen Karant, without whom this work wouldn't have been possible. I would like to thank Jain University, people like Kumara, Gurraja, who are all sitting here, and Professor Meva Singh and CES for continuously supporting these kind of ideas. I would also thank Dr. Karthik, who was quite instrumental in my fieldwork during my PhD days. I would also like to thank Shantanu, who is Kumara's student, who is working on these kind of mixed group interactions now. I would like to thank my wife, Anjana Shano. She was a very beautiful partner whenever we went to these kind of multi-male troop sites in Horsley Hills and all, because she accompanied me and she helped me in my fieldwork. And definitely forest departments, ground teams, and scientific network, who all have part of it. But finally, I just want to thank Langurs, because it is consistently, even after 2 decades, it is consistently challenging my assumptions about social organization and the textbook taxonomy. So every now and then it is reminding me that no, you are not stopped, you need to continue. Having said that, I just want to end my talk in thanking DBT, ISERB, and Primate Conservation for the funding. Much of the science begins when nature quietly refuses to follow the rules we accept. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done, sir. I think so. I hope I was within the limits.
Sure, 100%.
Thanks.
You have finished well within the timing. Dr. Chetan Nag has presented his own research, collective effort, and the topic is open for discussion. If you have any questions, please ask.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Regarding the sterility, when the 2 different species are undergoing the breeding activity, over a time, what is the consequences with respect to the conservation point of view?
I don't know, see, because we need, this is a work in progress. It's a hypothesis that I'm putting forth. So when you say hybrids, I don't know, there have been, I've been following taxonomic literature, they say, could there be a new species like this? So should hybrids be considered as new species? And if we are considering the social structuring, reorganization, and the evolutionary perspectives, what kind of measures should be taken with respect to conservation? So should it be considered as a new species, and because of new species, they could be posing different challenges to conservation managers? So we are not yet there. The answers are not very clear, but we need to invest more time on this. That's what I feel for now. So I just want to be a little more cautious here and saying that this is a work in progress. But I am seeing some kind of patterns, and Kumara and myself, maybe in future days, we will be able to give you some kind of clear answers. But for now, the question stands at whether hybrids should be considered as a separate species, because the sterility, fertility,
Yes,
all these are an issue now. So we don't know. But for now, we have been seeing that, they are actually coming together, mating together, and producing so-called hybrids. And these hybrids also mating with the parent populations of Hanuman langur or Nilgiri langur. And they are producing again. So it's going on for past what? I don't know.
Sir, my point is there, conservation point of view, whether the sterile individual has to be conserved or the fertile individual has to be.
It has to be conserved because we don't have any information. Just give us some more time so that we give you more answers. and we need to work on those kind of things. It requires some kind of genetic explanation for that. We are working on the genetic aspect. I and Kumar are working on the genetic aspect. So we might be able to throw you some more light. Give us 1 more year, we'll be able to tell you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It needs to be investigated at the genetic level. Yeah, we are trying.
Thank you. Any questions from student side? Only faculty members, teachers are asking questions. There is one question arising
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Our students are losing their questioning capacity.
Acha.
My
It's
earlier
probably
question
because
was-
they fear that their question might be wrong. Don't worry, your questions are never stupid or wrong. Please
Okay.
feel free to ask. Yeah, see, that's the question. Good. Davangere. The question is coming from Davangere.
Good morning, sir. My question is that you mentioned that the northern parts of langur and the southern parts are differentiated by the shape of the
Northern tail langur, okay.
southern. So is there any functional, because of the functional category, it's been.
What do you mean by function? Define that.
So the use case of the tail, during foraging and all, is there any difference?
Not that we have.
Since the tail is in the different shape, it's not due to evolution of.
Could be. Nobody has investigated that genetically.
Okay.
Some of the old literature says there could be germinal kind of reasoning for why they are putting the tail loop towards the south or the north, or the question to not sure. So we don't have any evidences for it. Maybe somebody in this audience might give us the answer. For now, we don't have any.
Thank you, sir.
The question is open for anybody to work on. Any questions?
I hope
If
there are
not,
no
we should
questions.
give time to Guru Raja. Thanks guys.
Please be seated. Now I request Professor Vijay Kumar to felicitate Dr. Chetan Nag.
I was expecting more questions from people like Kumar or also.
Thank you. Thank you, Chetan Nag, for your wonderful presentation. Now, now the oral presentation for the students. Okay. So only you have 4 minutes to present. Last one minute for discussion. Now I call first presenter Kushal N. Community participation as a cornerstone for Bonnet Macaque.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kushal. I'm a PhD scholar from Bangalore University, Department of Zoology. And before I start, I would like to thank Chetan Nag sir for introducing my topic also, because I'm also following the monkey path. So my topic is with respect to the urban ecology, wherein I'll be talking about how the monkeys are surviving in the urban locality of Bangalore city, metropolitan city. Sir had given all the introduction and lot of detailing of monkeys in other human dominated landscapes. So I would directly jump into the topic. So my guide is Dr. Usha Anandi. So this is one of the objectives of my PhD work. to the bonnet monkey. Sir spoke about langurs, but I would be talking about the bonnet monkey. Yeah. So which is a commensal species, very good with being with the humans and being one among humans, human dominated landscape or habitat structure. And this is my study. What did I do? I just wanted to know how the people perception of monkeys with living together. Yesterday's talk, one of the talk given by Sanjay Gubi sir, he mentioned about how the media would manipulate the effect of human mind on the conservation of wildlife. So I had similar sort of doubts in my mind. So I started to do this work by conducting a social survey, a cross-sectional survey, wherein I had prepared a questionnaire set of 16 questions in the Google form, both in English and Kannada, distributed among a lot of networks which I had formed all across Bangalore city. And it was not uniform, it was randomly distributed, and I make sure that it was distributed almost all the wards of BBMP as per 2020 data. And then that gave me with cautious statistical data gave me, I wanted to collect around 667 species, but specimens. That what I found with the thing was Bangalore city being so large, about this 741 square kilometers large, and it has about 8.5 million people. Of this, I could gather this information in the year between 2003 to 2021, the loss of 50% plus of green cover was lost, and the built-up area increased by 2x in the same time. By the temperature also increased by almost 3 degrees with the minimum and maximum temperatures. And this is the number of respondents I collect. And these 7 or 2 was the complete responses which I received. I have filtered out lot many more incomplete or half-filled ones. So the results part were this: of all the 7 or 2 respondents, I could check that these many, that is 87% of residents were able to see monkeys at one point or the other in their time. And of these, they have seen monkeys most of the time in the midday. So this timing, I felt it is something which is overlapping with the activity of the monkeys. The human work or human time zone with the monkey time zone. And that also gave me another example, information about the monthly basis. Each person could see the monkeys on a monthly basis, which was the 29% of the people reported they were seeing monkeys on a monthly basis, and it was not on a regular basis. My expectation was the monkeys would be visible every day to every person, but that's not true. It was only on the monthly basis they used to see. And they also seen that the monkey groups, the number of monkeys which they seen were between 2 to 5 individuals. That is more than 50% reported that they could see only 2 to 5 monkeys in spotting. So this is indication that it is a fragmented population, and it was very rare that only 1% or 2% of people have seen a large group of monkeys with more than 60 individuals. Then when it comes to feeding of the monkeys were fed, of course. And how many of them were feeding? It was not all, but it was 46% were feeding. And among these 46% feeding, they were all feeding, the ones who I had asked, they said they are feeding, 83% of them are feeding with fruits. Good thing. 86% of them are feeding with fruits. But the thing is, why this 46% feeding monkeys was another question. And if the humans are not provisioning the monkeys, what are they doing? They are foraging on human generated waste, apart from very rarely available natural resources. So apart from this, there was this tolerance level, and how are humans capable of taking this into their hands, but how are they surviving? Because they had this tolerance level of 70% of the respondents said they are okay with monkeys in their area, and 49% said they are religiously connected when they are saying monkeys. And also zoonotic diseases, only 24% said they know that the monkeys can transmit diseases. After the incident of Kannada, then there were like many news about the transmission of diseases from animals. So that increased, and this is the diagrammatic representation or schematic representation for the thing. And zoonotic diseases, 58% said they do not know anything about the transmission of diseases from monkeys to them. And this also came with the other thing. What is that? What are the other conflicts? What they were facing is that more than half of them said snatching food from them was one of the major conflict. It was not always dangerous conflict. It was a mild level of conflict, which also they have found that diseases, skin diseases and other injuries were more than 40%, which the people have seen on the monkeys. And this is also a cause of concern for their survivability. Yes, this social cultural shift, when it comes, though they are religiously affiliated to protecting the monkeys or seeing the monkeys and they're okay with it, but that shift is reducing because of the secular shift, and the tolerance level is also not to be taken for granted always. This tolerance level can erode over time when the conflict is continuous. So this is the thing wherein the threat perception for the monkeys to survive in the landscape facility to be considered, and the establishment of non-intrusive coexistence. So this is how they are planning to cope with the monkeys, by preparing physical barriers rather than culling. Culling was there were only 0.3% people who had included culling as the result, and this is also not a solution for the thing which the humans themselves put forth, that is capture and release. So the final takeaway point is that though the percentage of people says good, they are good with, more than 70% are good with surviving with the monkeys in the Bangalore city, but it cannot be taken for granted. We need to change some of the things by educating them about the food they prefer or provision the monkeys, the problem of zoonotic disease transmission, and allowing them to survive naturally by creating green corridors across Bangalore, by reducing the depletion of the green cover, or try to increase the green cover which the monkeys would facilitate. So thereby, these are the references which I referred for the work, and I would acknowledge my mother university, that is Bangalore University, for giving the opportunity to study. Then I would acknowledge Forest Department for giving me the permission, and of course the conference people and Shimoga University for giving me this opportunity to talk on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions on this? Okay. Thank you, Kusha. Next speaker, Prajwal Ainapure, spatio-temporal analysis of human-snake conflict pattern in the urban region of Mysore.
I kindly request all the presenters to be prepared in a sequence and kindly adhere to the given time.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Prajwal Ainapure from JSS AHER Mysuru. So today I'm going to present my dissertation topic, a pilot study on spatio-temporal analysis of human-snake conflict pattern in urban region of Mysuru, under the guidance of Dr. Divya. Next. So as we know that rapid urban growth is urban is growing rapidly year by year. So due to that, the natural habitat of the wildlife species are adapting to the urban wildlife urban environment. So where the many species are increasingly exploited, modified with urban environment, utilizing gardens, drainages, waste, and other green corridors for shelter, food, and movement. So the aim of the study is to investigate the partial and temporal patterns of human snake conflict in Mysuru region using the snake rescue data and GIS mapping. So the objective is simple. First objective is the species diversity. Second one is classifying the classification of venom status. Third one is temporal analysis. Fourth one is mapping the GIS mapping, and fourth one is hotspot identification. So this is the study area map in Mysuru. So where Mysuru is located at 770 meters above the sea level on the Deccan Plateau, where Mysuru consists of more than 2,700 plus gardens, and 30 to 40% of Mysuru is covered with green patches. So which shares the residential areas, agriculture lands, wetlands, institutional campuses, and other green corridors. So the methodology is we had collected the data with one particular certified rescuer in Mysuru over a period of 6 months from October 2025 to March 2026. So where we had collected more than 425 rescued species. In that specific for mapping, I used 228 records in particular to Mysuru city region. So in 225 species, we had calculated, we had got 16 snake species in Mysuru city region. So the second step is the data processing, where identification of species by their photographs and taxonomical classifications, and distributing the venomous and non-venomous, and compiling the standard data. So the third step is that what I had done the data analysis, where the temporal analysis from October 2025 to March 2026, and also we had taken the rescue part locations. So where we had located in map, GIS map, and also we had identified the hotspot of the location. So the outputs are we had came to know that which species diversities are the species diversity, temporal variation, and the partial hotspot identification. So total I had mentioned result. So we had taken from 6 months, we had got 425 snake rescues by particular only one rescuer. So in that we had came to know that 16 species were identified. So if we go before 2 to 3 years data, we can come to know that more than 40 plus species were found in Mysuru city, where rescuers has been rescued, and 4 families are identified. And so you can see the spectaculated cobra, flowery wood snake, oriental rat snake, Russell viper, checkered killback, bronzeback tree snake, trinklet snake, and common kid. These are the major human interaction species, where you can see that cobra 142. Next. So these are the 16 species, and these are the micro habitats in residential area, where we had 425 snake species records. All 99.9% are rescued inside the residential area, inside the compound, not outside in gardens or other areas. So we can easily say that human and snake interactions in as a part of conflict basis. You can see the Russell. These are the images. So these are the family-wise composition. These are the temporal patterns, where in October 78 rescues, in November 124, December 53, January 44, February 63, March 63. So where we can know that the post-monsoon from October to November, we can increase in the soil moisture and vegetation growth. So the rodents, amphibian availability promotes the snake movement in the residential areas. And you can see from December and January, where Glazy shows 53 and 44 cases as cooler temperature reduces ectothermic activity of snake and mobility. Yeah, I will. So these are the spatial maps of Mysuru city, where green dots are non-venomous and red dots are venomous snakes. And we can see that most of the rescuers are nearer to the water bodies. You can see the green color drainages and everything. So most of the 40 to 45% of rescues are nearer to the water bodies drainages, which is associated with residential areas. These are the kernel density map, where it show high where it show high conflict areas. These are the high conflict areas in Mysuru according to the pilot study. So these are the urban wildlife recommendation where majorly we are focusing on waste habitat management, and because most of the snakes comes inside due to the rodents. So due to that, the most of the human snake conflicts are happening. And third one is community and community and education. So we are going through it. And the third one is awareness in the peak season from August, September, October, November. So we are, yeah. So we can see the conclusion that Mysuru shared the human wildlife space rather than it's not a random occurrence. And also total 16 species in that the most Najanada, which is the spectacled cobra, is 33.4%, which is indicate the dominance. And the November frequency itself tells the 29.2%. 29.2% of conflict in these 6 months. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions on this topic? Okay, thank you, Rachel. Next speaker, Nisha Prajapati. Restoration for Sloth Bay Conservation, a cluster plantation approach to improve connectivity and food resources in North Gujarat. Nisha Prajapati. Please restrict to 4 minutes.
Hello everyone, myself Nisha Prajapati from Gujarat. Sloth bears are vulnerable and majorly threatened by the habitat loss, degradation of habitat, and the retaliatory clearing from the human bear conflict. Due to the habitat loss, they decrease their food availability in the natural habitat, and may they force into the village area in the search of food and water, and may increase the raising human and sloth bear conflict into the area. To address this issue, we done the habitat restoration for sloth bear conservation, a cluster plantation approach in improve habitat quality and food resource in North Gujarat area. These are my objectives. Here we can see how sloth bear distributed in the Gujarat. So here we focus the North Gujarat area because compared to the central Gujarat, the North Gujarat is the more fragmented and patchy habitat. So we conduct the LUL, land use land cover analysis for the see the decadal changes from 2040 to 2024, and then we select the one district, that is Mehsana, from the North Gujarat area, and then we conduct the field survey into the 4x4 kilometer grid area, and after that we select the site on the basis of sign encounter rate of the sloth bear activity and movement pattern. And after that we conduct the plantation in the cluster plantation manner. This is the map of LULC of 2040 and 2024. Here we can see that the barren land, moderate forest, open forest, and the water converted into the cropland, and the moderate forest also converted into the open forest area. When we talk about the bear presence data, so we found the total bear presence into the 7 grid out of 11 grids, and 3 grids having a high sloth bear sign encounter rate. And out of these 3 grids, we select one grid for the plantation, that is the Sudasna village. So why we select the Sudasna? Play the video, please. Play the video. we select the Sudasna village because of the high SER rate of the sloth bear sign, and also the area is very fragmented that, and also the sloth bear's regular movement in the village for in the search of food, and this become a very regular, and the high sloth bear and human wildlife conflict is there. After that, we came to the action and do the cluster plantation at the Sudasna village with the collaboration with the forest department. And also we invite the college students and local people to this drive because they are also very essential for this area. So we select total 30 native tree species and planted 650 saplings into the 1 hectare area. After the 3 months of plantation, we conduct the post-plantation monitoring, and we found that the 65% is the survival ratio. As we know, the habitat restoration, yes, sir. Habitat restoration is a very long-term process. So the maybe in future that will increase the habitat quality and provide the natural food resource to the sloth bears and other species too, and also may increase the risk of human bear conflict into the area. Here we are not stopping. Here we are not stopping. We are also conduct the plantation in this year also. In another sloth bear landscape, we are planning to plant more than 3,000 plants in another sloth bear landscape. We are also recommend that they replicate this model to in another sloth bear landscape for the better habitat and decrease the human bear sloth bear conflict. I would like to thanks to all my guides and affiliated institutions and this conference to give such a platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question on this topic? Please.
It is out of the what you have presented, but since you have showed the grids and probably you must have collected even other variables. Have you related the conflicts and those variables?
Sorry, sir. Which variables?
Any independent variables? Have you collected any independent variables in these grids?
No, sir. We just identify the area where the conflicts are more and the sloth bears likely coming to into the village areas, and only those area will select. No any other variables will measure here.
Actually, okay, in future probably
Yeah,
if you
you can
collect
yes.
some variables and if you find out what is the drivers for the conflict intensity, probably
Yes.
Which grid
Yeah,
is
we-
having more,
Yeah.
that may be scientifically or academically it is more interesting, and
Yes.
also it can contribute to the even for the
We
conduct.
conduct interview to local villagers. They said the reason is mainly food. Sloth bears come into the village. There are some where in that area also sloth bear come into the what it called dukan shops. Yeah, shops too, and open the chips packets, and they just carry the chips packets and all. And that one scenario there, to rescue that bear, forest department put that chips into the enclosure to catch that bear. So
Find out the variables basically.
Yeah.
List the variables and
Yes,
try
yes.
to assess. Okay.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next presenter. Thank you, Mr. Prajapati. Next presenter, Roshni AJ. Human-wildlife conflict in agriculture dominated landscape.
Very good morning to one and all. Today the topic what I'm going to present is on the human-wildlife conflict in agriculture-dominated landscape. Threat assessment for tiger and elephants in Kodagu district, Karnataka. This project has been done under the guidance of Dr. Vijay Kumar, Professor Kuvempu University. Kodagu, which is a very small district in Karnataka, the total geographical area of the district is 4,102 square kilometers. This district has 291 villages with 5 talukas, and also this district adjoins the bordering Kerala state, and this Kerala state has 2 wildlife sanctuaries. One is the Arlam Wildlife Sanctuary and the other one is the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary with the adjoining Nagaravale Tiger Reserve. And apart from this, Kodagu district has 4 more wildlife sanctuaries. And one more feather to the cap is Kodagu is the only district in the entire India which has 1,214 sacred groves or the Devara Kadus. And these Devara Kadus are all scattered in the entire district, which ranges from 0.1 cent to nearly hundreds of acres. So the picture on the backdrop, this is the present landscape, especially the revenue area, which is now in Kodagu. So 5 decades back, in the year 1970s, early 1970s, vast land area of the private forest type was transformed for coffee cultivation. And it was that time when the large opening happened of the private estates. The migratory route of the elephants, especially the migratory corridors, was open. And this was the time when the man and the animal came face to face. And the result what is displayed on the screen is a present scenario. So as I mentioned, the study area is the Kodagu, and the reserve forest or the wildlife sanctuaries which is located all along the periphery of the Kodagu district. It is something like a necklace which is worn around the woman's neck. So objectives of the study is to assess the human tiger and human elephant conflicts in agriculture dominated landscape in Kodagu district, and to assess the drivers of human tiger and elephant conflicts. The methodology was used was the historic data was collected directly from the forest department, also from the e-Pariyara app. This e-Pariyara app had a voluminous data of all the crop damages, also the amount which was paid to the grievant, and also the GPS coordinates. The GPS coordinates was used for the mapping purpose using the QGIS system. And the heat map was generated in order to help the department to show them the high conflict areas. Apart from this, the field visit was also made, and also a small scheduled meeting was also done with the local villagers in order to ensure that the ex gratia payment is received good in advance, or they are in timely basis. Looking into the distribution of the conflict incidents in Kodagu, 5-year data was compiled and assessed. It was observed that nearly 35,792 cases were registered, and of which the crop damage was high, 33,120 numbers. The two in the year 2022, the number was very high, 9,495. And looking into the cattle killed by the tigers, it was 470 total number. And in the year 23, the number was 139 numbers. Below, you can see this spatio-temporal pattern where the cattle kill is more to be found in the south part of Kodagu, especially in the fringe area of the Nagaravale Tiger Reserve. A data of 5 years had shown that, especially the camera trap images, nearly 35 tigers were in this landscape, but not all habited permanently in this landscape. They were in and out of this landscape, out in the sense to the nearby tiger reserves. And the crop damage done by the elephant, especially in the South Coorg region, had affected nearly 41 villages, followed by the human death by both the tiger and the elephant. The number was nearly 16, and the human injury was 59. Property damage was 2,127. Category wise, looking into the damage caused by the various elephants, the damage done by the elephant was immense when compared to the other animals, and the cattle killed by the tiger was nearly 378. Hence, the property damage, crop damage is more by the elephant, and the cattle kill is done more by the tigers, especially in the southern part of Kodagu. Looking into the monthly or the seasonal patterns, the conflict was there throughout the season, but it escalated during the month of monsoon, especially by the elephant, and the cattle kill was more during the month of January, February, and March. The key findings of this observation was high concentration to be needed to the southern part of the Kodagu, which suggests that proximity in the forest and plantation mosaic increases conflict occurrence. And also, when compared to the human injuries, property damage, and crop damage, the human death was relatively low. Higher crop raiding frequency suggests that elephants, wild boar, and other herbivores are major contributors to this conflict in this region. Decline in conflict region, it could be the high mitigation measures. Spatial clustering incidents demonstrates the importance of hot-based management. Study highlights the necessity for integrated landscape management, community participation, and long-term monitoring. I take this opportunity to thank my forest department, who have helped me in giving me Pariyara data, as well as most of the data from the Tiger Cell. And also I take this opportunity to thank Kuvempu University, who has organized this human-wildlife conflict coexistence biodiversity conservation workshop, national conference. Above all, I thank my guide, Dr. Vijay Kumara, for giving me this opportunity and also guiding me throughout. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Mike, could you?
Go back to the key findings. In the key findings there you have mentioned that conflict is there between the human and the wildlife. Why not with the conflict between the sharing the same habitat by the wild animals?
Sir, very less incidences has been observed, sir. I would say there is no incidence as such in the agriculture dominated landscape in Kodagu region, sir. Sir, once the elephant is there in that region, once the elephant is driven by the forest department, and after 2 days, tiger will be coming and sharing the same habitat, sir. And when there is a tiger menace or the conflict reported, again the tiger will be driven and Gaur will be occupied, sir. So there is a cycle of species which will be occupying the same habitat. So conflict I have not observed, sir.
The conflict with respect to the
Respect to within the animals have not been reported, sir.
So another point in the slide you have shown that more damage by the wild animals to the human beings or maybe the properties of the human beings. To what extent, you are official, no? Forest official.
Yes, sir.
To what extent that is true? It is a loss by the wild animals to the human property or vice versa?
So in this scenario, I have assessed the wildlife damage which is
Sir
caused.
can help you, definitely.
Yes, sir. Yeah, maybe you can throw some light on this, sir.
There is quite a lot of even animals deaths and animal people killing off or poisoning of all these things are actually documented, but it is not corroborated. So there is quite a lot of data. We are right now analyzing most of the things as a one-sided, but probably there is quite a retaliatory. But I was pointing out with a one single slide that retaliatory things basically. But in the same way, it is required to analyze it properly. What extent that vice versa is happening, it is required to be done. now most of the things, whatever, all these tiger cell data and all these things, it is just one-sided, another side has to be seen. I think we almost now, every case, if any animal death happens, if the tiger is killed, or if the elephant is, something happen, as a every DFO or every ACF, they raise the question, it is coming and it is documented. But we are yet to analyze all those things and relate that one with these cases. Animal conflict is very less recorded. That we are also thinking that multiple species occupancy modeling, this what we are thinking of to do it. When it happens, how it will have an impact on the other species. If there is a tiger, if the tiger conflict happens, how it will have an impact on the probably leopard or probably doe or probably other species. There's a multiple species when we have to do it. It is true, but not in the case of a BRT. BRT, it is not rising. BRT, it is going up and down. Still, we are not stabilized. Even in the last 15 years, the fluctuation is very high. Because there is a one, yesterday there was a one point, quite a lot of lantana, highest lantana is actually in BRT, and capturing rate of, becomes very difficult. Even that's why in some of the area we increase, it is not just 25 days. Let us do it for 1.5 months. So then we will increase the probability of capturing it. Okay, but even in spite of that one, the fluctuation is very high. But you are true, in case of a Bandipur and Nagarhole, there is a spillover that has become an issue recently. And because after a few mortality, people have killed tigers and tiger killed the people, then it has become an issue. Now NTCA has asked the department to report it right now. And of course, we are working on the report that how it is in a conflict zone, whether tigers are changing, the tiger density is changing, or prey base is changing.